pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up. They say she get it from her mama. I'ma say you got it right. Body rude is unpolite. Don't be in the humble type. Tell me, is you down? Cause I'm trying to go up tonight. Hoes and hoochies left and right. I just wanna live in a fantasy. I think we deserve it right. Top of the memories I've ever made in my life. Permanent ecstasy. The ladies is pimps tonight. Inside.
Is that why Janet Jackson likes it?
I say where the love is like. I put that on my mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. You can't touch my bag, wish you could. I look fly, I look too good.
Shout out to Victoria Monet. Love her. I just adore her. I adore her pen game. I love her performance. I really feel her. Listen, you are locked into hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And, you know, always, Andy is on point. So he sticks to the theme. He keeps us flowing and together. So
does he?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm harassing you now.
Yeah.
He's probably looking like, wait, what?
Except for those couple slow songs.
Hey, man, it's a hard job to do sometimes.
It
You know
really
what I'm saying?
is.
Just to keep up sometimes. So,
Oh,
you know,
I know. I'm giving you a hard time, and you know that I
And I'm
appreciate your
playing along.
engineering skills.
I'm
Because
playing with y'all too.
yes,
You
totally.
always give us, you know, you give the vibes, you set it up, you lob it, and you know, we're trying to be like the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James lob. I know they're not the Lakers, but I'm just saying.
Kobe and Shaq lob.
Okay, all right. We talking about Sacramento series, Kobe and no, which one? Which is your favorite? Here we go.
Blazers. Game 7. That lob.
Oh, okay.
When Kobe
yeah.
crossed Scottie Pippen.
Mhm.
The lob, the jab. Oh, man. Okay.
Jeez. Man, so many things to remember. It's hard. So, first of all, because I wanted to give an accurate list of, you know, some of the songs that not only Victoria wrote, but the ones that, you know, are out that she's getting more fanfare as an artist. I saw her perform, maybe it was during the pandemic. I went to, was it Meta, put on a drive-in concert, and it was like Victoria Monet, Khalees, couple other people, and so like you were in your car and you could put in an order on your phone. They had these food trucks, and you watched a concert, so it's pretty dope. And that was my first time seeing her perform live, and energy, choreography, body, kills it. And her birthday is the same day as mine.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, May 1st. I don't come across that many people that are May 1st Tauruses. So, that's because we're rare and unique. The only other
Yes.
two, yes, we are diamonds. The other two that I know are Gigi Bryant and Shaq's daughter, his youngest daughter. They were both born on May 1st as well. So, Anyway, as I mentioned,
I like Victoria Monet.
I really
I've been
like
playing
her.
her CD out lately.
I like her CD. I like Jaguar. The other one, let's see, she wrote for Ariana Grande, Coastin'. That was in 2021.
Yes, I have that
song,
single.
yeah. A bunch of other ones, but let me see who else she has written for. For those that are unaware, why? Listen, it just closed really fast. I had all of her song hits lined up, and now it's just showing me the recent stuff. I want to see her pen game. Let's open it up. Okay. La 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 la. La. Sorry guys, I know I'm moving a little slow. So she worked on Diddy's Dirty Money album. I know.
Wonder what that was like.
Listen, that was a good album.
Hello.
Are you
Good
gonna?
morning.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna be readjusting your music library based on some of the most recent events that have taken place?
No, because I've always known that Diddy was a creep, and I haven't really rocked and with Diddy hardcore since like All About the Benjamins. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Let's get it.
All right, that works.
But I did play the Red album. Is that what it's called? The Love album? Whatever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I like this song. Oddly enough, with Justin Bieber, who's interesting. I like that song, and I like the Mary J. Blige song.
There's a couple.
Those are the only two.
The only two?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that album. I actually enjoyed it. So Victoria Monet, I can't believe I'm spacing on. She wrote a bunch of stuff for Ariana Grande, and
Oh, really? Probably all the songs I like. The R&B sounding ones, probably.
yeah. Now, I mean, listen, this is a side, and I hope I don't upset anybody.
But I like Ariana Grande. Though.
I like Ariana Grande
She serves it.
too. She serves. She gives little pop beats up, lots of manifestation anthems in her music.
She did a cover of why am I this is slipping right now? Thundercat, Them Changes. She did a cover of that song. Google it on YouTube. Killed it.
Okay. All right, we have to check that out.
Yeah.
So anyway, Victoria dropped her. Is this her second album?
Second.
Okay, second official album. I know she had an EP in there and
Some
so
singles.
forth. Mm-hmm. So, and we were all excited. She did her own interpretation of "On My Mama," which we just heard, which we know was a rap song. "On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good." Anthem, right? And so, she worked her magic and created her own version of that, and it caught on. The choreography of the video, it had a very 90s feel. People were into it, and a lot of fans wanted to see her potentially perform at the VMAs last summer, and MTV was like, yeah, thanks, but we don't think she's there yet. She has more to go in her story. And fans were sort of like, how dare you? Do you know she is? Are you keeping up? Right? Well, lo and behold, a couple months later, she was nominated for a Grammy. And she recently spoke out. Thank You Next. That is one of them. Let Me Love You. I'm sorry, these are the Ariana Grande songs. It just filled in and pulled up. She did Do It by Chloe and Halle. Rather Be by Brandy.
I love that song.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right. Her pen. That's why I said her pen game, vicious.
And that's like a newer Brandy song. So and it's one that was a really really good song, and it sticks out.
I mean, she did.
God, that's a good song.
Right. I mean, I really again enjoy Victoria's work. So the question.
Come on, publishing.
Come on, publishing. The question I want to ask you, right, because she was talking about how much she appreciates the Grammy nomination. And I know we as fans talk a lot about when the Grammys have ignored some of the artists that we wanted to see there, the sort of shady behavior that they've given to some artists that we consider legends or icons.
Janet Jackson.
And so
they have done her dirty on Grammys for years.
Agree. So my question to you is it not wrong, because that wouldn't be the wrong, but we hear so much, people are always like, believe in yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself, which you do. But is it wrong to at times want accolades from
No,
outside sources
no, not
and
at
to
all.
celebrate when you are honored with these things? Because, Victoria said not, it was humbling, but it also was affirming, because when you receive so much rejection, you start to question yourself as you naturally do. And though people are always like, well, you should innately believe in yourself, you should. There are
Sometimes
those
it's not
moments of,
enough.
right. There's those moments of doubt that'll creep in. And if you are your own support system, so to speak, right? Sometimes you question, like, am I seeing it right? And so she talked about the what it meant to her to get for those nominations to come down, right? After everything that she had been through, after it's not embarrassing, but it's a rejection that maybe, you didn't want to take as far as what happened with the VMAs last summer. Do you think that we try and emphasize too much um, self I don't want to term it as I'm, downing self-love or being confident or any of those things and believing in yourself because obviously that's important, but do you think we put too much emphasis on pulling it together for yourself?
No, we don't. We don't put enough emphasis. And see, that's the thing. I think that we're all taught very early on to not validate ourselves first and to actually seek approval from other people. So I think that we don't have it, right. Supporting yourself and having confidence, it only goes so far.
Right.
Trust me on
And
that.
you need a tribe to lift
Listen,
you. Right.
I have all the confidence in the world, and anybody that knows me will tell you I'm sometimes overly confident, but it's only going to get me so far. Like, you need support, and not that I need validation from other people, but it's nice to have your work validated, especially when you put in hard work and you're trying to grow and excel in so many different things. I think I shared with you earlier before we went on air, just with my Spotify stats today. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting for me to see that I am played in more than the United States. I had no idea that people played me in other countries.
Never
right?
even considered it, right?
And that, it takes 1,000 ratings, 1,000 people pressing a button to even get a rating. So my rating is a 4.2 out of 5. I had no idea until I got that back today. So yes, it made me feel good in an era where, yes, I have all the confidence and I need support. That was the support. It always comes back. So it feels good. Come on. Everybody wants to be validated.
I agree. And I mean, I think that one, we obviously want to make sure that we are building up people that aren't easily taken advantage of, because the thought process is if you're living for someone else's validation, you will maybe not act in your own best interest at all times because you are looking to be filled up from an outside source. But how do you think that obviously I'm kind of jumping off of the main thing, but I wanted this as a jumping off point. How do you think that we can help people achieve that balance with being confident and believing in yourself, but still knowing and resting in, the support, the love, the accolades or whatever, but not, living and dying on it? How do we keep that? Because I think that we often talk about communication breakdown, right? And that is why some situations aren't really, maybe blown out of proportion or taken one way, because people see things kind of how they see them and they're not willing to open up and have those conversations. So with the thing as far as being vulnerable and wanting, someone to say, hey, I'm proud of you. I really enjoy what you're doing. What you give makes my day in some way or something like that. How do you think that you teach, not how do you think, but how do you feel that you teach people to keep that healthy balance?
It's interesting. I don't even know how to properly answer that because I don't really know how to,
Is it something you'd ever thought about or, brought consideration to?
No, because you know why? I just, for instance, even with I'll use this as an example. Wednesday nights, right? Mm-hmm. I always post a link to the show tune in at 9 o'clock. Um,
On KBLA Talk 1580.
yes, I put it up with no, you know, how many people are going to see it, how many people are going to click it, you know. But there are certain people when they get excited. Like for instance, Carrie Webb, she gets excited when I post it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So when she clicks it and she says, "Yay," you know, I'm tuned. There it is, right there. Like that is a validation. That's all it really takes is being excited. It's not hard to do, especially that we're all connected.
Right.
We all have Instagram. Double tap, you know, repost, you know, share
I'm
the
not
post,
saying what
retweet.
we could do as friends. I'm saying,
But
what
that's
can you
also teaching people in essence how to support you in a sense.
do? I mean, that is facts. But how do you teach yourself? How do you make sure that you're achieving that balance when you're not living too much for outside validation and standing on business, like T.I. and King said, without, you know, pushing yourself to your own island because
I think
you don't
that's a
want to
part
let
of
the
it.
negativity get in and so forth.
For me, it's just showing up and doing it when you don't feel like it.
Okay.
That's what it is for me. So, you show up anyway and you do it, and you do it because you don't want validation. You do it because it's what you want to do and it makes you feel good. Like I don't do anything that doesn't make me feel good. You know, I show up and
Nothing?
write. No, if I don't,
Nothing?
if it does not feel good to me, I don't do it.
Okay.
It's like I'm not feeling it today. I can't do it.
Okay.
I tell people that, like, you know what, I can't talk today. I'm not feeling it. I can't.
Holla back.
Yeah. Let's try this again in a week.
Andy?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Trent said, I think just to sum it all up, you got to love yourself.
You do?
Love yourself through the process. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to keep the balance. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't get the validation, you're not tripping. Just like Trent said, if you love what it is that you do, you're going to feel good regardless. Peace of mind, to me, is what is it? It's priceless.
Facts.
You feel me? And if you can achieve that, you're good. Whether you get nominated or not, whether you get acknowledged or not, you're still good. Like Trent said, it could be just one person reposting, retweeting. That's all the acknowledgement you need. But I think it all boils down to how you view yourself in the mirror. And at the end of the day, you got to love yourself.
So when you say love yourself, and I want to ask both of you guys this, like that is something that we always say, but in reality, what does that look like in action?
Accepting yourself for your flaws and all. Accept it.
Yeah, and I always say to myself, that's what it is acceptance, really, but just really acknowledging this is what it is, you know, and this is what I've been dealt, or whatever the situation, and work within that, and don't try to change it.
Just work the pieces.
Yeah,
Work the board.
this is what it is.
I know that's right. Well, somebody that is changing but not trying to change to please anybody else, Andre 3000. You know, he has set a new record with his flute release.
I still haven't heard it.
You haven't listened to it?
I'm going to
Listen to it when you're going to meditate.
Yeah, that's when I wanted to listen to it anyway, and some like the morning or the late night, you know, with a little California plants in the background or something like that, some incense burning.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So listen, the opening song from the new project, New Blue Sun, has set the record for the longest running song to chart on the Billboard 100. I feel like who sits down and decides this is going to be the perfect category that we are going to release this information to the masses? Who really cares that the length of the song set a record in Billboard? That's not significant.
How long is the song?
12 minutes. 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
I think it's all PR.
You think so?
I mean, that could be totally true, but I think it's PR to get more people to tap into the album.
But I wonder, like, what's the end game or where they're going to go? Are they trying to shift the culture in a way? Like, I know that seems ambitious, but I feel like Outkast in and of themselves help to redirect some things during various points of their career. I mean, obviously, that moment at the Source Awards where, you know, it got overshadowed by the East Coast don't got no love for Death Row and Snoop, but right before that, they were like, the South got something to say. So when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics, more headlines, more on this. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
It's Susan G. Komen. We believe that ending breast cancer needs all of us working together. Because if you've just been diagnosed and don't know where to turn, we've got you. If you can't afford the treatment you need, we've got you. And if you are driven to honor the loved one you've just lost, we have a place for you here. Because of you, we're supporting those who need help today while tirelessly searching for tomorrow's cures. Visit Komen.org and be a part of our Susan G. Komen community today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Is your eyesight changing?
I can't read this anymore.
Don't lose hope. People just like you are working every day using Braille, screen magnification, speech technology, and other tools and blindness skills. Your eyesight may have changed, but your goals, they don't have to. We can help. Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, have you noticed over the past couple of months, we haven't seen Monica repping C Murder as of late? Remember when everything was always C Murder in the building?
Didn't she stop that after she got with Shannon?
No. What are you talking about? Did you forget the verses and all of the things when she's been on stage? We've had a big thing, and she, recently went to visit him in the past few years.
Maybe I missed it.
But she has a new boo. That is not the story, but I just wondered if people were paying attention that something seemed to happen there. I wonder if, I'm being facetious, but not. I wonder if he cheated. Something seems to be happening. I'm being funny. Anyway, so we know that he has been, what does that look, Trent?
Gunica?
Gunica, but Gunica does have a new boyfriend though, so.
Yeah, she always got a new man. That's why I was having a whole dialogue in my brain about her and her Scorpio tendencies, and that's why I just gave a look, because she's gonna keep a man if nothing else. Gunica's gonna have a man.
Shout out to Murder Mo. So C Murder we know he had several appeals going. That is one of the things that Monica was talking about. She had one of her besties, Kim Kardashian, advocating to have a look back or for his case to be reopened. Well, U.S. Judge Sarah S. Vance reportedly handed down a ruling and denied to overturn his lifelong prison sentence in his latest appeal. She ruled that he failed to prove his innocence. She handed down the ruling this month on the 13th, and in the documentation, she explained that the decision is that he had to put forth clear and convincing evidence of error in the state court's findings of fact, and he's failed to do so. So he's been in prison for nearly 22 years at this point, and he was given life in 2009 for the fatal shooting of 16-year-old Steve Thomas, who was reportedly struck by a bullet at the Platinum Club in New Orleans around 1 a.m. C. Murder was there. There were 2 key eyewitnesses that came forward and said that he was the one to pull the trigger. I think at least one of them later recanted, but here we are, right? Do you think, I mean, obviously it's hard to say, one can never say that, but do you think as we have, looked at some of the wilder behavior and all of these things, do you think that it hurt, not Monica, because we have the reputation, but the stance of hip-hop when we see so many, when we're not waiting for the outcome, like, we see YSL, there's, free thugger signs and things of that nature. And with some of these things, you may understand why they did it, but they're guilty. And do you think it's just an automatic free whomever as soon as something happens, no repercussions for some of the risks that they're taking, no matter the situation behind that got them to that point, in theory?
I think this is what I think. I think that when you have a name and you calling yourself C Murder, you putting that into the atmosphere and the energy, whether you're a murderer or not. So you got to be careful what you call yourself, number one.
Thanks.
Number two, when you out here in the public eye, in the kind of circles that hip hop tends to put you in, you got to be careful about where you go and what you do and who you do it with.
Yeah.
Because anybody can just say any old thing to people and they'll buy it, and then you got somebody recanting a statement. So it's like, what do we really believe? There's so many instances where people just don't think, and they don't think twice, and they just easily trust. And trust me, there's power in sitting at home being bored and safe.
There absolutely can common sense be taught. We'll get into that on the other side. You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is up next.
I'm so deep in my bag like a grandma with a peppermint. They say, oh, she smell good. That's just cause I'm heaven sent. Sex game goes stupid, snapping like a toothpick. Man, I tell the truth, your opinion is irrelevant. But I know you think I'm fine. Might be too fine to hit it.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The FBI is investigating after the former Minneapolis police officer convicted for killing George Floyd was stabbed in prison. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, who is black, says the FBI will look into what led up to Derek Chauvin being stabbed last week. Chauvin is currently serving a 22-year sentence in a federal prison in Arizona. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is unveiling a plan to move some migrants from police stations into churches. The African-American mayor was joined by faith leaders yesterday to announce the Unity Initiative. The program will be funded with $350,000 in private donations. On this day in history in 2015, NBA star Kobe Bryant announced on the Players Tribune that he would retire at the end of the year. The 37-year-old Los Angeles Lakers guard said, "This season is all they have left to give." And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
The ocean absorbs a lot of our carbon emissions with the help of marine plants and animals. sea otters, for example, help restore kelp forests and coastal wetlands that trap carbon. Learn more about these fuzzy climate warriors at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with Kate Luzio, former banking executive and now owner of Luminary, who partnered with Chase for this tour. She makes it her business to build community for business owners.
Yes, so I was a banker for 20 years before I decided to become an entrepreneur. 7 of those years were actually at JP Morgan Chase. One of the biggest things that I had going into my entrepreneurial journey was a big background in banking.
So what advice are you giving business owners looking for financial backing today?
So Chase brings in so much knowledge and the opportunity to understand what financial tools are out there for business owners to build, grow, and scale their business. A lot of business owners will say, well, I need to get a loan immediately. Well, you wouldn't just lend money to your friend if you didn't know why they needed it. I tell every business owner, you need a business plan, you need financial projections, you need a banker. Because you have to start building a relationship with a banker so that they get comfortable with how you're going to build that business and so that they can eventually support you in different ways.
Makes sense. So visit the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon. Meet a banker today. Tell them about your business. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call Call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Boop, boop.
Ooh, DJ Monet.
She always ride with the top down, even when it's cold outside. Ooh, she got the keys to the boutique. She don't do 9 to 5s. 100,000 viewers on her IG live. She do it, make a toast to it. You ain't never heard of that. And then Birkin bag, stupid. You ain't never heard her brag or say that she going through it. I just wanna tap it, boop, boop it one time. Ooh, just give me one night, I can make her mine. Cause I know she done came a long way, and she don't want drinks no more. Ain't bringing no dough to the table. Ooh, you know that your bank account big. Come back on the weekend, you ain't able. Ooh, she gon' be like, I got it. Pull $1,000 out of side pocket. Ooh, that little bit of drink you tried to buy, stop it. Bottles on me, the cork look like a skyrocket. Poppin', ooh, she don't want the drink, she want the rent paid. She don't pay for nothing, she just get paid.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to T-Pain and Kehlani. Kehlani's on that too, right? Yep. I remember that. That was like the updated version of, Bartender, Buy Me a Drink, where, no, the girlie's on her boss stuff this time around. And, I like Kehlani.
I do too.
Pen game. Allegedly, well, it's not really allegedly, but I'm going to say allegedly, Victoria Monet and Kehlani used to date for a small minute.
Oh, how you doing?
They're expressive. Yeah. So, anyway, 3 artists that I appreciate. And speaking of, kind of related, but not, your guy Omarion has released a new album, Full Circle Sonic Book 2, A Journey in Independence. And it is a follow-up.
That's the name of the album?
Mm-hmm.
Full Circle Sonic?
Full Circle Sonic Book 2, A Journey in Independence. It is the follow-up to Full Circle Sonic Book 1 that was released earlier this year. And he says it was...
He had an album out this year?
Yeah, now he has 2.
Mm.
And it was following the book release. That's what you're supposed to do. That's
Yeah.
what you call a rollout.
Okay.
So, in a recent interview with EUR, he shared how his experience with polyamory and that journey influenced his choice to end his bout with celibacy. I don't know if you would call it a bout, but his experience, his celibate experience, right? He said he grew up with a female tribe, his grandmother, his aunt, his mother. That's who raised him. I came up in the lioness pride. Even though me and my father have a great relationship now, he wasn't always around. So I learned everything from a woman. I have a great deal of respect for women, to the point where I'm going to be honest about where I'm at. I got a lot of love to give. I got enough for 2, maybe 3 or 4. He said, no, seriously, I really do love women. I love their essence. And when we really get together and play our respective roles, it's magical. I like the big P, polyamory, because the way the women come together in that culture is just really beautiful. And it's not always sexual. It's like a sisterhood. I found myself asking the question, do I want to be with one woman for the rest of my life? And if you ask most men that question, they'll say yes. They lied. And then if you ask certain women that, look, this is the menu right here. You only get one choice for the rest of your life. They'll be like, well, let me experience other people. So in his version of this story, it's the women that are really more hesitant to be with one person. And maybe, that's a Gen Z thing. Now he's a millennial. Y'all didn't get the thing, but you get the idea. Yeah, so what are your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts.
Andy, you got some thoughts. We're going to come back to you. Andy?
I call 60% cap.
Which part of it is cap?
All of it.
All of it.
Thank you, Andy.
I don't know. I think there's a part of him that's probably still searching
and wants attention.
I don't know about the attention. Well,
come on, Andy.
Considering he just dropped the album, I can understand that.
But who is really buying? I'm sorry, this is your segment of the show, not mine. Go ahead.
Nah, part of me just is. I think he might. Of course, he's unbothered, right? But I think this is a lash out based off of what he experienced
with April. You think
Absolutely.
That he's still?
This is him lashing out. And instead of settling down, let me just go ahead and let me just be a dude, a dog. Essentially.
It's true if you think about it. April's had a couple of relationships since they've separated, and I'm not
including
saying
one with his bandmate.
Yeah. She said he was there for her during a really low moment, and he, really cared about her. It's not like we haven't heard about that before. Don't you remember in the 5 Heartbeats Choir Boy? Yo, I could sing all his parts, man. I love that movie, one of my favorite all-time movies. So, listen, this is my thing. I do believe that there is some of that, but are there not some men that believe that they can get by better, 2 women put together?
My brother believes that.
And how's that working out for him?
It's not.
It's not. Andy?
I was just going to say, I for most men, that's like a dream, a fantasy. But practically, I don't think most dudes can handle that. And I could be all the way wrong.
I don't think so either. Because here's the thing.
It's not even, I don't think most people can. It's a nice idea in theory, but after a while, it's like, this is not going to work.
So here's the thing about it, right? Like, I think most people harp on the sexual aspect of it, right? And that is such a small portion if you're talking about something like this, right? If you're really trying to do the sister wives thing or whatever, does that man pay everybody's bills? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think realistically, it sounds good, but people really only think about one aspect of it. Do you want to be answering to 2 different women making requests of you? I'm not even going to say demands.
I don't even feel like answering to myself half the time. So 2 other people in the mix too? No, it's just too much going on, bro.
Too many questions.
It's too much.
Too much expectation.
Period.
Andy?
And Omarion being who he is, I think he has a privilege to where I'm pretty sure there's a line of women that want to be entertained. So I think this is a little bit of entertainment for him too. I think he just tapping into something.
So you're saying he just says stuff just to say it?
No,
yes.
Yes. I think he means it, but I don't know if he truly believes it. I think this is something that he's testing, entertaining.
In theory, to see if he can make it work.
Absolutely. But once again, him being who he is too, I think he can also tame the situation. You know what I'm saying? These girls are like, well, this is Omarion, so I'm going to just borderline bow down. I'm going to jump up and down and bark like I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Here's the thing. We haven't seen that happen. Like, we haven't seen him. And again, maybe after everything that went on with April, he has made the decision that he will keep his relationships private all the way around, moving forward. But we haven't seen him with anyone. We haven't seen him with any of them to assume that, it's really working out. He said, there are a lot of men out there that can love just one woman. So I think that it's possible. I just haven't met the woman yet that secures that for me.
Oh, whatever, Omarion, if that's your real name.
Here you go. Go ahead, Andy.
I was gonna say, did he not love April at one point? Cap.
I think he's saying that
he's
was
just saying stuff to say stuff because he can say stuff. That's all this is. He's just trying to get people
Word
to buy
salad.
his records because ain't nobody thinking about an Omarion record in February, and we ain't thinking about it in November on the bridge of December. Okay.
He also shared that he went through a 3-year period of celibacy.
I love the chaste and pure lifestyle for everybody.
And that it was a spiritual exploration.
And he left the spiritual exploration and came up with this, huh? This is what the spirit told him to do. Go get 2 ladies now? A group?
Yeah, I guess so. He said that it brought discipline to his life.
Really?
Doing that.
So now you want 4 because you got discipline.
It was about creating discipline for myself.
None of this makes sense.
And being able to be in control of both of my heads. So
it don't match. Yeah, you trying to be in control of both your
That's what
heads,
he
but
said.
now you got 4 ladies that you trying to put together in a group. You know what? Isn't it time for a commercial? I'm sorry, this is your show, not mine. Because guess what, Omari, you don't make no sense, sir, and you should just stop while you're ahead. And all this confusion is not gonna help you sell no records.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Say something that's logical and that we can buy, because we're not buying this. No one is. I'm not buying it. Andy's not buying it, and Jill Munroe, she's not buying it. She ain't telling you she's not buying it, but trust me, she's not buying it either. And Pretty Brown Mimi definitely is not buying it. So, hey.
He said, when I was younger, I grew up Christian and Baptist. His Nana influenced him to
all the women in his
get
life
down
influenced
this way.
him.
Yeah, the Lioness Pride. That's what he said he was into.
I
right
grew
down
up
there
Baptist
in
too.
Inglewood. He said that he would go to his auntie's church, Fruit of the Divine.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing drums, keys, and singing there.
I was singing in the choir too.
And
what else?
He said that his mom used to date a dude who was Seventh-day Adventist.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Leslie. And that he was studying at one time various things. So he's saying he took, just tapping into his spiritual journey.
I was Buddhist too at one point.
He said he spent time at the Kingdom Hall, Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, I went to the Catholic Church.
And that he's been through. All right.
Because he is playing too many games. What is wrong with this man? It don't make sense. None of it makes sense. He's just talking. Like me, just talking.
This is my thing, right? Because I believe in enlightenment. I believe in, getting in touch with your spiritual being, right? But I feel like when people seemingly to be too zen, too in the pocket,
honey,
all the time, I don't believe you.
Yeah, because you're about to just blow up in any second. You're going to just tick, tick, boom. You're like a ticking time bomb, baby.
He's not. He said
he mad at April. He mad at Fizz. He mad at ain't nobody buying these records. He's pent up. He ain't been doing it. He trying to get 4 people at one time. It's not working.
He's not currently celibate. He said he was younger.
Used to.
When he did that.
Yes, but he got too much stuff. He needs to just be quiet and pick a side and stick to it, because this is a lot. I'm confused. Andy's confused. The listeners, we're all confused.
He said that when he was in the group B2K, they used to tell
Fizz and they stole his girl. What else?
That's not what he was saying. He said when they were in the group, they used to tell us these horror stories of women and certain artists. And they would have sensual and casual sex.
That's grooming right there. Right there. That's grooming.
You know?
Yeah.
When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You were like, but honestly, you do have a point. That it falls into it in sort of the conversation. It was a reason why the way that they were speaking.
They
to
was
them.
telling you that the girls are horror stories because they was trying to get you. See?
You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. More on the other side.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ask any former youth in foster care what they missed most while growing up, and they will most likely answer, someone to show me unconditional love. Now, isn't that something we all wished we could experience? Here in Los Angeles, Up to 40% of homeless youth on our streets identify as LGBTQ+. The most prevalent reason for homelessness among this population is the rejection they've experienced from their own families. The LA County Department of Children and Family Services and Raise a Child are searching for safe, nurturing, and affirming foster parents within our community willing to stand up and serve all children and youth in foster care, especially LGBTQ youth. Learn the many benefits to becoming a foster parent. Attend a free Raise a Child virtual or in-person informational event to learn more. RSVP now at raiseachild.org. That's raiseachild.org. And thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar, vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space. And to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. They're still going a little bit in the chat. Listen, Pretty Brown Mimi says, why are most pretty boys crazy? He looks good, but where's the substance? Shannon says, forget Omarion. Where is Orion? On OnlyFans?
Somewhere doing yoga and meditating, nude.
Eating watermelon?
Yep.
Listen, you could go find him there. You probably Andy said, "Oh, melon." That is funny. Let me ask you though: would you date somebody that had an OnlyFans if you knew that they were doing erotic content?
No,
no way.
No, it's a firm no. Hard no. There's no negotiations. I don't care how much money is brought. Like what? I don't need everybody else seeing what I'm getting and having ideas and fantasies about what's going on in my house.
Well, let me ask you this. Like, do you feel that way even if they were just a performer or an actor? Because same acts. I mean, I'm not questioning the difference. I clearly understand. But I'm saying they're still exposed in the same way, exposed to the audience in the same way, potentially their body parts.
That's why I don't post the people that I date now, because I don't want you having fantasies or getting ideas about what's going on in my damn bedroom.
But I'm not talking about, but I'm saying if they already
It's a no. It's a no.
So you wouldn't date someone that was an actor?
I don't even like actors. I am friends with one actor, and you know him, and two, but I don't like actors because I don't know when they're acting and when they're not. I don't trust them enough.
You don't think that your discernment would kick in to be able to tell the difference?
Well, most of them are full of it. That's why I'm only friends with two.
Okay. I hear you.
I'm more friends with musicians than I am actors.
So you think that they're more grounded?
Yes, in certain ways, but not the female singers though.
Why-
They're problematic.
Why females gotta take shots?
It's the truth.
Okay, but we were just talking about Amari and you didn't say that. You said he needs to heal.
Well, we also know that he's a little like nothing that he says. The whole thing was convoluted. Nothing made sense. So are we? Come on, you're toying with me right now.
Listen, he said that he was celibate for 3 years.
And that's why he's crazy, because that's too long to be going celibate after you've been a hoochie daddy your whole 20s.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
Stop
it
and just
does.
meditate and be okay.
But you know,
Or
too
not.
long is too. Sometimes too long is too long. Like I've been living a chaste and pure life since September, right? And that is like I'm not going stir crazy, but it's like it might be time to have a little action or something because
It's only been 2 months.
you doing this right now.
It's only been 2 months.
Again, when you've been a hoochie,
You're a sexual being,
yeah,
so you needed to fulfill that.
yeah.
I respect that.
So it's like you might need to just maybe just maybe a kiss, maybe a warm caress.
Okay.
And that's it.
Tight cuddle.
Yes.
Something like that.
A grope.
All right, that works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen.
Authorized grope.
Because it has to be clear.
Yes.
Do you feel like some of the spontaneity in relationships has been hampered because of the weight of all of the other situations that
No.
come down to it? No.
When people are passionate in the moment, you know, and they really like each other, they just go for it.
But that's not right.
But
in this current time.
it's oftentimes mutual. It's mutual.
I
oftentimes.
wholeheartedly agree, but aren't you still supposed to ask beforehand? Which seems awkward to me.
Sometimes when it's like the first time, you want to ask and be cordial and polite, but after you've gotten a feel for each other, it's like the 5th time and you guys just give each other a look, you know what it's time to do.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
What's
listen,
up?
Thank you, VIPs, for locking in to this episode of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
And shout out to Pretty Brown Mimi for staying up the whole time.
I know. She kept saying she was going to sleep, but that's how you know when the conversation is lit, engaging, and you just can't get enough of it. So we appreciate you all for tuning in. When we come forward, the best of KBLA is what will be gracing your ears. Thank you, as always, for locking in. I will be back here tomorrow, 9 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure that you are tapped in because, we have a lot to talk about, as always. Have a good night.
I don't need nobody else around. See, love the way you compliment my style, though you may end up being my only girl. 'Cause when you're with me, you're my whole world. Like when it's just me and you, vibe is crazy between us two. You're my homie, my lover, and even my friend. Now I've said this before.